Events over the past week prompt me to make a comment on some political events. Before commenting on those events, I provide some background left out by many commentators. Since the days of Ronald Reagan and Margaret Thatcher, workers around the world experienced nearly continuous erosion of their rights, working conditions, and income security under conservative, liberal, and some socialist governments. This causes increased anxiety by many workers. As the truth about treatment of Indigenous, Asian, African, and other people of color emerged, lies that were comforting to Caucasian people were discredited, though still believed by many, leading to erosion of race-based privileges, though these privileges are still entrenched. As women slowly gained increasing equality in the law, though much more slowly in society, males felt their male privilege eroding. The erosion of privilege for white people and males caused many of them to feel as though they were being attacked and discriminated against, prompting both anger and anxiety. As globalization and technology change rapidly emerged, many people felt lost and confused and became more vulnerable to a multitude of conspiracy theories. It became easy for people seeking to make a profit on social media to earn a lot of money by posting bizarre conspiracy theories that help people blame their situations and anxiety and fear on someone else. The owners and managers of social media platforms discovered that creating algorithms that increased traffic on their sites increased their income and value through advertising attracted by that traffic. Right-wing politicians around the world found ways to tap into those different groups of people by using crafted lies and misinformation. Donald Trump and his circle were especially effective at uniting them, as we observed on Epiphany, January 6th in Washington, D.C. It would be easy to blame them for what happened, but that would not solve our problems as a society. We need to carefully address each of those issues with care for everyone involved. We need to understand and make changes to our societies that reduce the feelings of insecurity and low self-worth and trust that feed the anxiety and anger witnessed last week, invisible in thousands of ways in daily events. It would be easy to just blame some people, but that is not the way for followers of Jesus, who gave everything he had, including his life, for the sake of relationships. We'll need to trust each other and work together to produce responses that will make the attack on the Capitol a gift for opening the way to building a better world. Most importantly, we need to make love the watchword for all we do and say. Now about the service. Continuing with my theme of holiness for Epiphany, this service focuses on the holiness that is in us. Last Sunday I considered 8 of the directions we can examine. This service considers the 8th direction, within. I chose Psalm 139, verses 1 to 18, as the reading for this service, because the psalmist proclaims he was made by God in mysterious ways, and tying into my sense of holiness. Verses 1 to 4 make the claim that God knows everything there is to know about the psalmist and by extension, us, including our thoughts and actions. For everyone who believes in God as a deity, those verses would make God either a very busy God, observing each and all of us all the time, or some of us as having a special relationship with God who takes the time to know us. If we choose the former view, there would be a terrible storm of information in God's mind for the close to 7.8 billion people on the earth. If we choose the latter view, there is the risk of believing we are more important than other people. Many or most people have experiences at times of someone or something attending to them, of having their attention and guidance or care. Experiences like these support the psalmist's words in these 4 verses. If we imagine the Holy Mystery as beyond being a deity, and there are several theologies that take God beyond being a deity, those words are easier to accept. Verse 5 claimed God provided boundaries for the psalmist, prevented the psalmist from taking harmful steps. This fits with experiences for many people of holding back and following through on some thoughts or intentions. External beings are not needed when we have subconscious mechanisms to hem us in. But some experiences encourage suspecting someone other than us changed our actions. It is all in how we choose to interpret events in our lives. Verse 6 captures the impossibility of our feelings of the unknown and shepherded along with everyone else. Verses 7 to 12 assert there is no getting away from God, that God is everywhere we could go. Verses 13 to 15 claim God is part of our very creation, and this concept deserves an extended study all by itself. For today I use it for my belief that each of us is holy in our body and ourselves, and more on that later. Verse 16 troubles me the most with its claim of predestination, that everything we do has been predetermined, including the time of our deaths. It is in verses like this that the theology of predestination is rooted. I favor a holy mystery that created an arc of development for the world, as a whole world, which may take more or less time to achieve, but we as individuals make our own choices about our role in that arc. Verses 17 and 18 celebrate the preciousness of God's thoughts and acknowledges they go beyond our understanding and capacity to even count. The humility in these verses is a quality worth sharing. For my opening story, I chose red-green color blindness as an example of a difference usually regarded as a defect that had useful applications. Healthy communities require a wide variety of people, with each person able to share their particular gifts. One of the students at a school where I taught had almost drowned in a dugout, ending up severely brain damaged and confined to an electric-powered chair. His educational assistant would take him to different classes to have a variety of moderate learning experiences. His presence in those classrooms impacted other students in a positive way, and teachers as well. In spite of his terrible, extensive handicap, he was well loved and appreciated by the other students in the school. Most people with Down syndrome are exceptionally caring and positive, and are much appreciated by the people who know them. In spite of any preconceptions about them, they have proven, when given the proper responses and care and opportunities, can succeed at work, and one recently became a model. When we look past how people seem to be less able than most of us at some things, and look to their gifts, we find gifts which would be otherwise lacking in the community. When we look at current political events and see people doing terrible things, we see how fear, anxiety, anger, and greed can obscure the holiness within people. When we do hurtful things ourselves, it's time to seek understanding of what it is driving us to do things that contradict our essential holiness. Everyone is marked by the holy, creative touch of the holy mystery. In our minds and in our bodies, the sacred is present. I believe if we acknowledge and embrace our bodies and minds as they are, if we truly love ourselves, life will bless us abundantly. When aging, traumas, and disease damage or weaken our bodies, it becomes more important to be aware of what our bodies and minds can still do, and feel grateful for that, while considering how we can respond to our losses in creative and positive ways. These can include choosing activities we neglected in the past, but are still within what we can do, or choosing new activities, or giving more time to some of what we are doing. Whether a person believes in a holy mystery or not, celebrating the sacredness of who and what we are ourselves nourishes better lives. We are holy, and we're unconditionally loved. Thanks be to the Holy Mystery. I appreciate any comments you have to offer about this commentary or the service for January 17th. I check for comments on the video in YouTube or on our Facebook page or on Wonder Cafe too. May you be well blessed in this season. Amen.